Success is not finer, failure is not fatter. It's a courage to continue that counts. Good evening, one and all. This side Ritika Negi. I'm glad having a great amount of audience in today's webinar on HR series, challenges and opportunity in post-pandemic world, a perspective in HR featuring by Madhvi Lamba, organized by Digisaksham. Maybe most of you are aware with Digisaksham, and maybe you are a new happy people to join very first time. So for those, I would like to lightning over the same. Digisaksham is an initiative of SEMS Group, which has developed content for over 300 courses in multiple languages, which range from 4 hours to 6 months in various sectors of IT, BFSI, retail, and entrepreneurship for all age groups, from school children, youth, professionals, and senior citizens. Digisaksham has developed content and conducted more than 150 webinars, 10 plus FTBs and workshops, 7 international conferences, and Digisaksham impacted more than 15,000 plus lives through various webinar, conferences, workshops, and seminars across the globe. At the outbreak of a COVID-19 pandemic, experts were quick to warn us about the disproportionate impact the crisis would have on socially excluded groups such as women's. The urgent need to respond to the health crisis was undeniable. But at the same time, understanding the differentiated effects in the pandemic on excluded groups would be a key that enable the design of inclusive and resilient recovery efforts. Yet, social distancing measures created new challenges for those seeking to gather evidence on such impact. So, to guide us all through this, we have Madhvi Lamba, HR journalist with a 1.6 years of experience in talent acquisition, HR operation, and office administration in digital marketing and management consulting industry. She has completed MBA in a human resource and international business and presented research paper in a national and international HR and management research conferences. Everyone, with huge round of applause, please welcome Madhvi Lamba to take over today's event. Please, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I extend my warm welcome to each and everyone who is present here. As you all know that the life before and after COVID-19 pandemic was very and is very different. So the topic of this webinar is challenges and opportunities in post-pandemic world, that is a perspective in human resources. So I'll begin this webinar with a question. That is, do you think that the professionals associated to people management have experienced any difficulties during COVID-19 pandemic? I'm waiting for some answers. Like, do you think that professionals associated with people management have experienced any sort of difficulty during COVID-19 pandemic? All right, though my answer would be yes, because it is not easy task to ask employees to follow the HR practices, HR policies, HR procedures, HR initiatives, that too in a virtual manner. So if these things will be not managed properly, so this will lead to the loss of the productivity. So to take care of the employee and efficient performance of the employees, the environment should be fast-paced, healthy work environment. The employees are aligning to the vision of the organization. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a high probability if these things are not managed properly, there'll be a loss of productivity. So knowing what exactly and how exactly employees are feeling, what exactly they are experiencing will lead to a positive impact on their lives. So it can go with good productivity, better performance, better and efficient, effective employees. So in case if we know that how they are experiencing and we are providing some solution to them, so it will definitely lead to the positive word of mouth, which will definitely enhance the employer's branding. So this is how we can, we as an HR can take care of the employees during COVID-19 pandemic, because it was definitely a very stressful and challenging environment for everybody, whether it is financially, physically, or mentally. So I believe as an HR, you must be ready for everything that is coming on your way. And it is always said that healthier and happier employees are very good for the businesses. So we as an HR must ensure that employees are healthy, in terms of physically as well as mentally. So coming to the challenges part in HR during the post-pandemic world. So employees can vary in nature. They can be resilient, they can be afflicted. So when we have resilient employees, they are productive employees. They'll be very flexible and they'll adapt the situation. So their job satisfaction will be high, they'll be engaging, and they can be easily retained during their tenure. And when it comes to afflicted employees, it is the responsibility of the HRs to ensure how to make them productive. So it could be possible that the training might be required to those employees, and it may be possible that there is a requirement of reskilling, and compensation and benefit might be the issue. That is why that the employee is afflicted. So in case if these things can be controlled, then the employee can be productive. So there are more challenges that HRs were and are experiencing during and after COVID-19. So how to manage attendance, leaves, and payroll of the employees. This is one of the other challenge. Other is how to arrange face-to-face meetings, how employees could work from home, how to assess employees remotely, changes in policies to cope up with constantly changing standards, mental health and psychological well-being, employees' awareness and precautions about COVID-19 and its impact. So coming to how to manage attendance, leaves, and payroll of the employees. So it was, I believe, one of the challenging tasks to monitor the attendance and leaves of the employees during the COVID-19 pandemic, because they were working from home. And in case if there is mismanagement in attendance and leave management part, so there'll definitely be a mismanagement in the calculation of the payroll as well. So this is one of the challenges that HRs were experiencing during the COVID-19. Then other one is how to arrange face-to-face meetings. So basically, it was a challenge for the HRs that they were unable to conduct the face-to-face meetings, though we had number of ways with the help of technology we could do that, but the bondings, the attention not be replaced by virtual meetings. So attention, interaction, and bonding that can be formed with the physical presence can not be formed with the help of virtual presence. So this may lead to may impact the teamwork. This may impact the coordinations between the team. This may lead to lack in effectiveness and efficiency of the employees. And talking about the physical presence, so there might be a high health risk at the workplace. So we couldn't conduct the meetings with the help of physical presence. So this was another challenge that HRs were experiencing during the COVID-19 pandemic, because it is important to communicate between the supervisor and subordinate. That is how work flows. So basically, we were unable to conduct the meeting. So that was one of the other challenge. Then is how employees could work from home. So definitely, I believe that work from home is an unthinkable concept that we might have not thought of work from home before the COVID-19 pandemic era. So this is a good thing, but it is again a challenge for us, as in the major challenges that many of the employees are right now liking work from home. So it is difficult to ask them to come back to the office, and work from office again. So as they are finding it convenient, so they are more preferring towards the work from home. And again, then coming to the beginners part, so there are many freshers who are considering work from home rather than work from office. So they are not willing to work from office, and they are asking for the work from home. And this will again lead to the another issue, that they will not be able to understand the office culture, what exactly corporate culture is and how corporates work. So this is again the issue. Then how to assess employees remotely. So now everybody is working through home. So it was another issue, that how the performance standards will be set, what will be the benchmarks, how their productivity would be analyzed, will they be efficient, will they be effective as they were at workplace. So how these things could be measured, how these things can be managed. So this was another issue that HRs were experiencing. Then changes in policies in order to cope up with constantly changing standards. So when employees were working from home, definitely the same work culture cannot be transferred to the home itself. So office culture and work from home culture is a different culture. So like in order to design the policies that we can transfer the responsibilities related to their job role to the employees, and how they'll manage their subordinates, how the work will flow, how the processes will be considered, how these things will be managed. So again, the policies related to these will be designed. Then is again reestablishing the organizational culture. So how organizational culture can be reestablished? This is again a challenge during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is again a challenge right now, because now the things are very changed. Not everybody is working from office, not everybody is working from home, so we need to manage both the things. So this is again another challenge that HRs are experiencing. Then how the hierarchies and the processes will be followed, this is another challenge that HR are experiencing. So in order to design policies related to this, this is again an opportunity as well as challenge to the HRs. Then is mental health and psychological well-being. So it is the responsibility of the HRs to consider the mental health necessary that employee will, and their psychological well-being is very good, because this will definitely impact their productivity, which will further lead to the an impact over the business. So according to WHO, that is World Health Organization, the demand of the services related to mental health has been really increased. The reason were that employees were really afraid of losing their income, isolation, bereavement. So they were really afraid of these things. So that is why it was the responsibility of the HR to manage all these things and making their psychological well-being fair enough. It was again a difficulty for the HRs to help employees to align their goals along with the mission and vision of the organization. In case if they are not feeling same kind of enthusiasm, they are not that much energetic to work in the same way that they were working as an office, so they are not aligning their goal along with the organizational goal. So this will again lead to another challenge, that because this will lead to the loss of productivity again, and it's a loss to the business. And one of the things that we could see during COVID-19 pandemic was that some of the concepts related to organizational behavior, such as genuineness, trust, empathy, compassion, such things have really emerged. So the leaders who were considering these factors, those were really resilient leaders, because they understood the demand of the situation. But those who knew how to balance these things along with the good financial performance of the organization, those were the leaders who could survive at that moment. So these were other challenges that HRs were experiencing, because boosting the morale of the employees, it was challenged while they were at home. So other thing is that employees awareness and precautions about COVID-19 and its impact. So during COVID-19, the personal cleanliness was very, very important. It was very important that employees are aware about the personal hygiene, to making them aware about the personal hygiene, to making them aware about the COVID-19 and its impact. So these were the other challenges that HRs were experiencing during the COVID-19. And the employees are working from home. It is important to let them know how these things should be maintained. Then coming to the opportunities part. So basically, these were the challenges that HRs were experiencing. But now when I say that opportunities part, so every disruption, opportunities also come. So we have seen that the work culture has been converted to human-centric culture. That is, employees are now considered as people rather than as a worker. So there was a digital transformation. We are working from home. So this is another concept that has emerged during COVID-19 pandemic. HRs are now working more than ever on C-suite level strategies for keeping the organization functioning. Then is interaction of different job models, the data-driven decision-making, uses of analytics and HR, then working on skill gaps, and efficiency driven to resilience driven. So human centric culture, employees as people versus employees as workers. So it is good to see that employees are now considered as people rather than workers. So organizations are considering it and understanding it. This is one of the good things that we have seen after COVID-19 pandemic. Organizations are understanding it, that employees actually need support. Their well-being should be prioritized. They should be encouraged to reach the goal. And this is how the employees are employees can be retained for the long. We can see after the COVID-19 pandemic. Digital transformation is another amazing thing that we can see after the COVID-19 pandemic. This was the first time that most of the organizations were able to work electronically rather than physical presence, as it was the need of the situation. So presently, around 80% of the interaction by the customer of the different organization is digital in nature, which is now 3 times before the COVID-19 time. So this is a study by the McKinsey. And again, globally, the adoption is enhanced by 3 years, while in Asia Pacific, it is enhanced by 4 years. So there is a 7 years of early enhancement in digital offerings in number of businesses. The adoption acceleration is 7 years globally, 10 plus years in Asia Pacific, 7 years in Europe, 6 years in North America, as per the study of the McKinsey. So this is one of the amazing things that we have seen this transformation at so early that it has been paced by 3 years or 4 years or 10 years. So this is an amazing thing. Another thing is work from home. So as I said that work from home was really an unthinkable concept. So this is a challenge as well as an opportunity. This is a study which is published in Hindustan Times. That's a newspaper in India. So 54% of employees are enjoying work from home, while 56% of employees say their productivity has been increased while working from home. Then 34% of employees are even willing to agree on 10% pay cut if work from home will be given to them permanently. And why work from home is likable by many employees. Employees can create a customizable environment, that is work environment as per their requirement. And then they are also feeling relaxed by staying away from the high pressure environment. This is another thing. Females say that they can manage their household chores along with their work. Then the employees are also saying that it is easy for them to manage their work-life balance. So an interview was conducted by the India Today. So this is a research published in the India Today, and the link is given below. So it was a survey which is conducted by India Today from the number of employees. So this is what they actually say, and HR say that employees are not getting checked constantly. So this is one of the things. And they are having their freedom, they are having their time. So as the traveling time is reduced, so this is one of the major things that employees feel, that they are having time for themselves, they have healthy income, and moreover they have flexibility in their job. So this is what HR say, that the employees have got these things, that is why they are liking work from home. Other thing is that HRs are really working more than ever on C-suite level strategies for keeping the organizations functioning. So this is another opportunity for the HRs, because policies are redesigning. So it is an opportunity for HRs to share their inputs with the management, with the C-suite level people, so that that is how they can contribute towards the organization in the strategic part. So it was always the demand of the employees for transparency from the company, and employees actually make perspective by the organization treats them. So balancing the relationship between the employer and employee is a task of an HR, and it is important to maintain that relationship, because that is how employers branding will be impacted. So if it is a good one, it's there'll be a positive word of mouth. So employers branding will be enhanced. So advices to C-suite level people to have an amazing work and policies will be given. So this is how HRs can contribute towards the organization, and I believe this is an opportunity for the HRs to contribute in the strategic part of the organization. Then is introduction of different job models. So work from home has really emerged. So many people are working from home, and it is now proved that people can work from home, and it is not mandatory for them to come to the office and make it possible to work from there. So many people can are working remotely, and it is like possible to work from home. So another model is hybrid model, that is work from home plus work from office. So as Google has adopted this model, like asking them asking their employees to come 3 days to the office and rest of the 2 days they can work from home. So this is the flexibility that Google is providing. So this is another hybrid model that has been emerged after the COVID-19 pandemic. Other thing is contingent workers. So the demand of the contingent workers has really increased after the COVID-19 pandemic. So what are contingent workers? Contingent workers are those workers which are not permanent by the organization. Rather, they'll be hired for a project, and once the project will be completed, their tenure might end there. So examples of those kind of workers are freelancers, consultants, GIG workers, and independent contractors. Then is 80% pay for 80% work, which is a wonderful policy, so that layoff wouldn't be there by the number of organizations. So this policy was implemented by UK government. This says that 80% of the pay will be given by from our end for the 80% of the work, and rest of the 20% pay need to be given by the employer. So that this policy was implemented so that the layoff wouldn't be there, and maximum employees can have work at their end. Then is a furlough pay. Furlough pay is another concept which is a wonderful concept, that employer need to pay the salary to the employees, and once the payroll will be done, they can reimburse the amount from the government itself. So this is how we can reduce the layoff in the organization, and we can allow a number of employees to have work at their end. Then is data-driven decision-making, use of analytics in HR. So data is the key for number of organizations, and many organizations are relying on data so that they can have optimum decisions. So in HR, workforce analytics is one of the amazing thing, and with the help of workforce analytics, we can understand the experiences of the employees in the organization. We can understand their engagement and satisfaction level. We can forecast the requirements in the organization. Decision making can be enhanced, and we can have the optimum results so that organization can take better decisions. This is the workforce analytics. That is how workforce analytics helps in the organization in terms of HR. Then is 83% of data-driven businesses gained critical advantage during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it really helped them in having effective communication with the stakeholders, taking better and faster strategic decisions, enhancing cross-team collaboration, and creating agility in businesses. So this was a survey which was conducted by YouGov, and this was the research which was published in Economic Times. Then working on skill gaps. So right now, pandemic has really shown the urgency to make employees really skillful, and we as an HR, we are focusing on skills rather than reskilling programs so that organizations can have better processes for its smooth functioning and competitive advantage over others. So HRs are really looking for candidates who have the required skills in order to make organizations stand in the market. So this is what exactly the main focus has been transferred to the skills. Other thing is efficiency driven to resilience driven. So again, we have seen that number of organizations have really become very resilient towards their employees. And there was a study by Mr. Dago Dietrich along with 3 other authors. So Mr. Dago Dietrich is a senior partner in the McKinsey. He said that 80% of the employees actually believe that the response by there was effective during the COVID-19 pandemic. So in order to be resilient, how they can be resilient at that moment? So like in order to be resilient, they have provided the experiences, the services, the products digitally. So basically, majorly what organizations do, either they'll provide a product, they will provide services, or they'll provide any kind of experience to the customers. So they have provided these things digitally. Another thing is there was an enhancement of partnership within and outside of the industry. So different kind of industries have come together in order to serve the customers. Then there must be a better supply chain and operational models. So one is just-in-time delivery, so that the things can be reached to the customers before the time. And then there is a lot of development in the sales model. So there is one thing that is contactless delivery. There is another thing that home delivery and pickup orders. So these things have really emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic. So considering the example, overall example for these things, so one is telemedicine. So telemedicine is something that we are providing the healthcare services in a digital manner. Then there is an enhancement of partnership within and outside of the industries, because there is one industry which is telecom industry, another thing is healthcare industry, and third is insurance industry. So these three industries have been amalgamated and came together to serve the customers. Then is just in time delivery, which is providing the services before the time. So these things have really come in front of us, that organizations are moving towards the resilience. In India, if I say that government employees are allowed to come with the 50% of attendance in the offices, many organizations like Cognizant, Accenture are providing work from home. So this is how we can see that organizations are moving towards the resilience, though it might be possible that some organizations are moving towards the resilience with the high pace, while others are moving towards the resilience with the low pace. But organizations are at least moving towards the resilience. That is a good thing to see. And last, that's a SWOT analysis. So SWOT stands for S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, T stands for threat. So the points that we have discussed right now, so we can see that digital transformation itself is the strength. Then we have a concept that says work from home, so we can balance the personal and professional life. So this is another strength. And another thing is that outcomes are based on data, so data has been given up supreme importance. So this is another strength. Organizations are moving towards resilience. This is what we can see, and this is a strength for the organizations. So weaknesses, as I said, that it is not easy to pay attention to each and everyone with the help of virtual meetings. It is not easy to form a bond with the help of virtual meetings. So this is one of the weaknesses that employees are afflicted, their lack of resilience in people. So when we ask them to come to the office and they are not resilient towards it, so it is another challenge, and it is weakness for us to ask them to come back to office, but they deny. So another thing is opportunities. HRs are working on number of strategic parts, decision making parts. So this is opportunity for the HRs. So training and development programs can be conducted by the HRs, which is another opportunities, and that is how HRs can gain a lot of things. And regarding the threats, so again, lack of resilience in people. If companies are asking them to work from office, if elected employees cannot be managed, it can really lead to the huge loss towards the organization. So this is another thing. At the end, there's a conclusion. COVID-19 has really brought number of changes, and the work print has been transformed, and HRs are now working on number of policies and strategies and processes so that workflow can be processed smoothly. So we must understand the supply versus demand challenge, because right now skills have really gained a huge spur in the demand, and most of the employees are actually gaining the promising offers from number of companies. So companies need to find out the innovative ways to tackle this thing. So earlier the traditional workflow method was being followed till now, and what is the demand right now is the flexibility in mode of working, because we have number of models now. We have work from office, we have work from home, we have hybrid model. So HRs need to ensure that the productivity of employees should be optimum, no matter what the medium is, no matter where the employees are working. It should be optimum. And it is also important to ensure that whether employees are engaged or not, are they really satisfied with their job, are they physically and psychologically well. So these things must be considered by the HRs. Thank you. I'm open to questions now.
Okay, one question is from Ree. As we have a focus more on productivity, on productivity in regard to business, why don't we look after employees?
Okay, so I believe that COVID-19 has really changed this perspective from employer side, because employers are really focusing on number of things like genuineness, as I told you in the PPTs, that genuineness, compassion, empathy, trust. So these things need to be formed. Otherwise, it is difficult to manage at both hands. So these things must be formed by the employers, and these things are taken into under consideration right now.
Ma'am, one more question from Sanjay Sindhe. Your view about the talent retention?
I believe that employees can be retained when we will consider them as people. So like we need to consider their problems, their issues, what actually they are experiencing, how they are managing the things, so that once these things will be taken into under consideration, so I believe that employee will be more loyal to the organization. The employees can be retained easily. Thank you very much for inviting me into this session. It was really an amazing experience. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time your busy schedule to be the great speaker of the today's webinar. And your presence and wise words help magnify our cause in the best possible way.
Thank you very
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I thank you all. We appreciate your being with us.